Hello and welcome to the 7th part of UTT Business Router's basic configuration. In this video, I'll show you the system and status menu on the UTT Business Router. UTT Business Routers now include wireless models N518W, AC750W, AC750GW, AC1220GW, and wired models ER518, ER4240G, ER840G. The system menu includes 7 parts: Administrator, Language, Time, Configuration, Firmware Upgrade, Remote Management, and Schedule Task. The Administrator page allows us to configure administrator accounts, while on the Language page we can select the system language. For now, the only language is English. Next, on the Time page, we can configure the system time. Some of the features on the router will need correct system time to work properly. Next is Configuration. On this page, we can back up the configuration file to a local host, import a configuration file into the system, or reset the router to factory default settings. Next is Firmware Upgrade. On this page, we can view the current firmware information, download the latest firmware from the UTT website, or upgrade the router. Next is the Remote Management page. If we want to allow HTTP remote management, check the Enable HTTP option on this page, and you can modify the port number here. The last part is Scheduled Task. By configuring scheduled tasks, we can predefine actions to be completed by the router at a specified time. For now, what we can do with this feature is to restart the router. Let's take a look at the demo. Click System, click Administrator. There is a default administrator admin. We can click the Edit button to change its password, or click Add to configure a new account. Let's skip the language page this time, because for now it only supports English. Let's move on to the Time page. We can select the time zone here. Then we can set the system time manually by selecting Set Time Manually here, or select Synchronize with SNTP server. SNTP server IP addresses are configured here. DST can be enabled if needed. It is recommended to set stable SNTP servers here. Next, on the configuration page, we can click Save to export the configuration file, or click Choose File and Import to import an existing config file. It is recommended to check this option to reset the router before importing the config file. Then, if we click the Reset button at the bottom, the router will be reset to factory default settings. Of course, we can still press and hold the physical reset button on the router box to do this. Next is Firmware Upgrade. We can click here to go to the download page and check for new updates. After a new firmware is downloaded, choose the file and click Upgrade to complement the upgrade. Please keep power supply during the upgrade, otherwise the router may be damaged. Next is Remote Management. Check Enable HTTP and configure a port as you wish. Then you can use the WAN IP address of the router, followed by a column and the port specified here to manage the router remotely on the web browser. To ensure security, it is strongly recommended not to enable remote management unless necessary. If we must enable it, we need to change the default password. Next, click Schedule Task. Click Add or Task Setting. Enter a task name. Select a period such as weekly. Select the detailed start time. Then click Save. Now the router will restart automatically once a week at a specified time. Next, we shall move on to the status menu. There are 3 simple pages under this menu: Interface Status, system information, and system log. The system status page allows us to monitor the status of all interfaces. We can check for IP addresses of each interface, their connection status, and their uptime. The system information page shows the information such as system time, system uptime, CPU usage, and firmware version. The system log page allows us to check the system logs. Maximum 400 entries can be displayed here. If we click the Log Management Settings tab, we could choose to enable or disable 4 types of logs, which are DHCP log, notification log, ARP log, PPPoE log. These logs can help us to monitor the status of the system, network tag, and connection issue. Let's take a look at the Web UI. Click Status. Click Interface Status. Scroll right to check for more information. Click System Information. It is a pretty plain page which needs no more explanation. Click System Log. We can find different types of logs in this area. We can clear the logs or refresh them by clicking these 2 buttons. Click Log Management Settings. There are 4 types of logs. DHCP logs help us to find DHCP server conflict or DHCP binding errors. Notification log shows the status of notification which is configured under app control. ARP log can help us find attacks such as ARP spoof. PPPoE log shows the PPPoE connection status. That's all for the 7th part of this series. For more information, please feel free to go to www.uttglobal.com, which is our official website. And as always, you can contact us by sending an email to support@uttglobal.com. I hope this video is informative to you, and I'd like to thank you for watching.